The 4th of November, Rabbi Moore, parsha Hashavua with Rashi Lech Lecha. Very good.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes. Right? Yeah.
Great. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Yeah, I was in the middle of explaining this Rashi. V'eschel goy gadol, ze shemu lekei Avram, v'avorechecha, ze shemu lekei Yitzchak, v'agad lo shmecha, ze shemu lekei Yaakov, yochol yuchoismin bekulam, talmud leima v'yei bracha, v'chol choismin v'loi bahem. So the Gemara in Pesachim. So basically I wanted to explain as follows. When we say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we describe HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the God of Avram, or the God of Yitzchak, or the God of Yaakov, what we are saying is, if one wants to have an idea who God is, right, one should just take a look at Avram, and look at Yitzchak, and look at Yaakov, and see the way they behave, and see that the way they clearly have a divine power, whom they are serving, whom they are acting with an allegiance to that divine power, and you'll realize that there is a God in the world. Whereas you see the way Avram Avinu and Yitzchak Avinu and Yaakov Avinu, all three of them led their lives, the way they conducted themselves, it's quite clear that they had a God who was something very central in their lives, and not only that, who their whole conduct, the way they conducted their entire lives, was as servants of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's what it means so Avram Avinu was the starter of this tremendous line of his son and his grandson, all three of them together, showed tremendous allegiance to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Avram Avinu was the one who started it all. So therefore, that's basically what he's saying. I'm going to, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avram, I'm going to call myself your God, right? Agadlo Shemecha, I'm going to make your name great, meaning that I will publicize myself to the world as being your God, which is probably the greatest accolade for a person that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can give to any person. Right? By saying that he is the God of so-and-so, that means this person is my close, devout servant. Means if you want to know who I am, said Kaviyach HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, look at my servant Avraham, and you'll see what he is, the way he, what he preaches, and the way he conducts himself, right? He's obviously that he has a God, and I am that God. But you want to know who I am? Look at my servant Avram. And not only was Avram himself merited to be on that level, but he was also merited that his son Yitzchak and his grandson Yaakov. So all three of them, that's basically saying that, but that was all in the schus of Avram. And that's what the pasuk, that's where Rashi ends off. Yochol yuchoismin bekulam. meaning that each of them, shall we say, in their own right, which was indeed so, that each one was, Yitzchak was Zoche in his own right to the fact that God called himself the God of Yitzchak. In the same way as Avram merited it in his own right to be called the God of, that Hashem called himself the God of Avram, so too Yitzchak and so too Yaakov also merited that level. But what the Kodesh Baruch Hu told Avram, but everything will eventually be how should we say, considered all from you. You are the source of all this greatness. Yes, you are the source that Yitzchak could be called, that Hashem was called himself the God of Yitzchak. That will be considered in your merit. And the fact that the Yaakov, Kodesh Baruch Hu call himself the God of Yaakov will also be considered in your merit. So that's what it means. Yachol you choismin b'kulam? No. B'chol choismin v'lo bohem. That everything will be considered in your merit. You, Avram, you will be considered the, how do you call it, the forerunner. Maybe that's not, I mean, something greater, maybe a stronger word than that. You will be considered the, what do you call it, the head of the dynasty, of this great dynasty of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Everything will be considered in your merit, Avram. So that's what it means. Okay? Okay, let's do the well map to the next Rashi. Ma'aretzecha u'mimoladetzecha.
Okay, hold on.
I think, Lou, you were in the middle of reading this, yeah?
Me'artzecha.
Yeah.
V'halo kavar yatsa misham im aviv. Had he not already left there
Yeah,
with his father?
correct.
Uva ad Haran.
And he has already come to, in other words,
Haran.
he already had left his original land, his birthplace, and he came with his father to Haran.
Ella kach amar lo. But thus he said to him, His rachek od misham. Go further from there. V'tzei mi beis avicha. And go out from the house of your father. Asher arecha.
Asher Areka, right? To the land which I will show you.
Lo
Now,
gi.
by the fact, why didn't Hashem say to him, go to Eretz Yisrael, go to the land of Canaan? Why did you tell him, to the land that I will show you?
Lo gila lo es haaretz miyad. He did not reveal to him the land immediately. Kidei
He's going.
Kidei lechabava be'einav. In order to make it precious in his eyes. V'laseis lo sachar. And to give to him reward. Al kol dibur v'dibur. For each and every statement. Kiyotze bo, and similar to this,
Right.
es bincha es yechidcha asher ahavta es Yitzchak.
Right.
Your son, your only one, that you love Yitzchak. Kiyotze bo, and similar to this.
So what's the right from there? It says, your son, your only one, whom you love, Yitzchak. Okay? Now, Kosh Baruch Hu could have told him straight away, Yitzchak. Why did he tell him first, your son? And the Medrash says, he told him, take your son. This is talking about before the Akedah. Kosh Baruch Hu told Abraham Avinu, take your son. So he says, I have two sons. Your only one. I must have two only ones. One is, Yitzchak is the only one to his mother Sarah, and Ishmael is the only one to his mother Hagar. Asher Havta, the one whom you love. He says, I love them both. It's Yitzchak. And we did. The reason why Kosh Baruch Hu told him in such a way is in order to give him schar. And this is what Rashi is going to say. To give him schar for each utterance, for each expression which Kosh Baruch Hu said. Kiyotze bo, similarly you find. Carry on.
Kiyotze bo, similar to this. Al achad harim asher omar alecha. Upon one of the mountains which I shall tell you. Kiyotze bo, and similar to this. Ukra eleha es hakriah asher anochi dover elecha, to address it to the proclamation which I will say to you.
He didn't tell him what he was going to say, what he was supposed to say. Right. So all these cases, this was in the case of Yonah Hanavi, the prophet Yonah. That Kosh Baruch Hu said to him, go and tell Nineveh that which I'm going to tell you. He didn't tell him directly. He didn't tell him then what he was supposed to say. So he gave him schar because he left him in limbo. Not limbo, he left him in suspense as to know what he was supposed to say. Okay? Yeah. Let's continue now. Pasuk Gimel.
Okay. Let's see. Va'avarcha nivarchecha umikalecha or v'nivrachu v'cha kol. Oh yeah. Okay. Kol mishpachot ha'adama. Okay. So let's see. I will bless you. No, I will bless the ones who bless you, and the one who curses you, I will curse. All the families of the earth, of V'nivrachu, will be blessed through you. Okay, Rashi. V'nivrachu v'cha, all the families of the earth will be blessed through you. Yesh agadot rabot. So there are many agadic interpretations of this. V'zehu peshuto. And this is a simple meaning. Let's see. Adam omer livno. A man says to his son, Tehei b'Avraham, be like Avraham. V'chein, and so, let's see, kol nivrachu v'cha she b'mikra. Okay, so all that says they will be blessed in it, or by you, in the Torah. V'zeh mochiach, And this proves, let's see, B'cha yivarech Yisrael lemor, Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim v'Chemenashe. Now that sounds familiar.
Right. It says, B'cha yavarech Yisrael. Through you, or with you, Yisrael will be blessed. Saying, Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim v'Chemenashe. May Hashem make you, Simcha, may Hashem literally place you, but may make you like Ephraim and Menashe. In other words, this was actually addressed. This was actually addressed to Ephraim and Menashe, or actually to Yosef, and he said to Akash Baruch Hu told him, to Akash Baruch Hu told Yosef, or Yaakov told Yosef, B'cha yavarech Yisrael, through you, with you, all Jewish children will be blessed, saying that each father will say to his son, Yisimcha Elokim ke'Ephraim v'Menashe, may Hashem make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And that's what Rashi says. V'zeh pshutoi, Adam omer libnoi, tehei ka'Avram. A man gives a blessing to his son. He says, you know, I want to give you the biggest blessing I can. You be like Avram. That is the biggest blessing a person can have. Avram is the most praised, greatest person whom any father will want his child to be like. So that's it. He'll give a blessing to his son. Be like Avram. That means that's what Rashi's saying. That's trapped in the pasuk over here. The nivrachu v'cha, right? With you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. Meaning, a father will want to bless his son. He says, "Son, I want you to be the greatest man, best man possible. Be like Abraham."
Why don't we find that happens?
Who?
Why don't we find that happens?
Well, nowadays.
Yeah.
Maybe in the old days it was. But nowadays, who do they want to be like? Babe Ruth? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a slight on Avram. It's a slight on the world.
Well, I mean, if Hashem is saying this is what's going to happen, you would think that it would happen.
It probably did happen in the old days.
Have you ever heard of it happening? And have you ever read any stories where it says that in the old days people did that? I've read a lot of historical fictions and fantasy books and that talk about ancient times. I've never read anything where it said that anybody said be like Abraham.
Okay, maybe you didn't read the right books. I don't know. You're right. I mean, could be in the old days. I mean, put it this way: how many books have you read about Bechlal that Avram Avinu, history books that Abraham existed? He was the father of all. I'm just curious, you know. I don't know. I mean, even the things like the flood. The flood. How many history books is it mentioned?
I only know of one that the flood is mentioned in, and one that Abraham is mentioned in that I've read.
That's the Bible.
But there's probably a lot more. No, not including the Bible.
Okay.
But even like, you know, a King Arthur book, you know, you would think that if that was the practice, that when you read a King Arthur book, you'd find that somebody says that blessing.
1 second. If you read a King Arthur book, so who does people bless this? Does it mention anything about people blessing their children to be like Arthur?
I'm trying to think now what they usually say. I don't think so.
No. And his cakes. Don't even ask about the cakes. Isn't Arthur, King Arthur, the one who burned the cakes? That's what they told me when I learned history.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but for sure, listen. You believe there's a mitzvah of tzitzis. You believe there's a mitzvah of tefillin. So Torah tells you this is what Kodesh Baruch Hu told Avraham Avinu, and obviously that was so. I don't know. You're asking a good question, but it's something which is because I mean, you ask any Cheder Yingel and he'll tell you, "You're sure it says in the Torah that Kodesh Baruch Hu told to think that all the people of the earth would be blessed their children." So obviously it was like that. But you know, understand that what I mean is that it all depends which history, especially historians, could be very selective. You know what they mentioned and what they didn't mention. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Let's continue.
We have the Abraham Accords.
Yes. I mean, why are they called the Abraham Accords? They're actually asking a good question.
Because there's a recognition that Abraham was the father of both the Jews and the Arabs.
Right.
So it's not that his name is not known. It's not that his name is not used in the world.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, it's a good point. I don't know. Really have to look in some place like Wikipedia or something like that, and it will probably bring you enough history, historic examples where you do find Avram mentioned. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a whole lengthy article about Abraham if you look in Wikipedia.
I'm sure there is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let's go. Let's go weiter.
I lost track of where we are and who was reading.
We're on Dalit now.
Dalit, we finished the Rashi over here. Let's go on to Pasuk Dalit.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dalit. Ve'elech Avram.
Vayelech. Vayelech. Okay.
Vayelech Avram. Ka'asher diber elav Hashem. Vayelech ito Lot. Ve'avram ben Chamesh Shanim. V'shiv'im shana b'tzeso me Haran. So let's see. Abraham went. So Abraham went as Hashem had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran.
Now it's interesting. Rashi doesn't comment on this, but this pasuk. So first of all, it implies that Avraham Avinu was only 75 years old when he left Haran. Now this actually presents a major problem, because how old was Avraham Avinu at the time of the Bris Ben Habesarim, which appears in later on in chapter 15, I think it is.
Well, it says there 400 years.
Your children will be, and that was from the birth of Yitzchak Avinu. But in addition, it says, Rashi in Parshas Boy, it says, the pasuk there says that how long were the Jewish people in, how long was their stay in Egypt? 430 years.
I thought it was 210.
It actually was in actual fact 210. But where did 430 years? So Rashi says it was 430 years from the Bris Ben Absarim, from the covenant between the pieces. Okay? Now, if you calculate 430 years from the birth of Avram of Yitzchak, that's why it says, your children are going to be strangers in a foreign land. Rashi says that's from the birth of Yitzchak. So from the birth of Yitzchak till Yetzias Mitzrayim was 400 years. Okay? Now, and how old was Avram Avinu when Yitzchak was born? 100 years old. So explicit pasuk. Now, if that means that, so it was 430 years from the time of the bris between the covenant between the pieces, the bris ben Absarim, was 430 years till the Exodus from Egypt. That means Avram Avinu was 70 years old at the time of the bris ben Absarim. 1 second. If he's 70 years old,
You'd have